Well, what's going on, everybody? We need to talk about Silent Hill 2 Remake. We need to talk about the harsh realities that everyone is going to need to inevitably accept if you're going to move on with the rest of your lives and realize that no matter what you say, no matter how much you complain, you're still going to buy it, you're still going to play it, you're still going to enjoy it, or not. You could just play it for like 10 minutes and write a scathing review saying how crappy it is and that you want your money back. Or you could say, hey man, you know what? I was completely wrong and this remake is awesome. Only time will tell. Now, I am Neostarling. I just wanted to come out here for a minute and talk about this. I wanted to give a perspective. Why? Because I have a YouTube channel. And just like many other YouTubers, I felt the need to make my thoughts known. And that's exactly what I'm gonna do. So without further ado, let's really have a conversation about Silent Hill 2 Remake and what a remake actually is. Now, here's the deal. I don't want a carbon copy of the previous Silent Hill 2. That's not what a remake is. A remake is when you take something and you use the source material, but you sort of reimagine it and make it into a different vision. You know, graphically, it's gonna look different. You're gonna add different story beats. Dialogue pieces will change. Character motivations might even change, depending on how far they really wanna go with it. But the reality is that when it's all said and done, I don't want a carbon copy of the previous game. I don't want a simple HD texture that's just put on top of something that I played like 20 some odd something years ago. Why would I want that? That doesn't make any sense. It's boring, all right? And look, I love Silent Hill 2. I really do. I thought it was a great game. I played it maybe 2 or 3 times in my entire life. And I just want to say that it's kind of boring to play. It's a great game. It has a great story. And I would rather watch one of these speedrunners, you know, play the game than play it again myself, only because it is a little boring to play. Now, with that said, that doesn't take away from the genius and the vision that these original creators had when they were making the game initially. But I want you to all realize that we live in a different time and age, right? Now, they're talking about modern audiences, right? Who are the modern audiences? Well, the answer is you. The people that played it in the beginning, the people that grew up with video games and are still currently playing it, because we're still one of the main bases of people that play games. I'm 40 years old and I still like video games. Now, do I play them as often? No, because, you know, unfortunately, real life takes over and sometimes, you know, the gaming has to take a back seat. But there are a couple of things that I don't think you are fully aware of, and I think I want to try my best to make you aware of. No. Some of you are misled. Here's the thing. Let's take this piece by piece, okay? The most controversial part of all of it, Angela, right? The way she looks. Now, I will agree, she does sort of look like a PS3, you know, maybe a lower res PS3 game at that. You know, she doesn't look anywhere near as good as James or any of the other characters look. Their graphical fidelity, the amount of time and effort that was put into that character model doesn't look good. Now, there's a couple of reasons this could be, right? One, the game is still in development, so you got to give it an opportunity to see if they're going to fix that up. I think they will. They are clearly listening to the internet's critique of them, and they are going to make adjustments. I strongly believe so. But here's the thing. Her character model is not consistent with the way she looks later on in the game, right? Because they showed other scenes of her in that same trailer that they showed us where she looks significantly better, right? And this, I don't know why the Blooper team chose to use that first cutscene with her, because it doesn't look good. And you know what? It got ratioed hardcore, and it kind of deserves it, honestly. But I don't think that means that they went woke or, oh no, they're destroying the original vision of the characters. I don't think that's happening, okay? I think Blooper team, this is probably their biggest game that they're ever gonna make, or at least for now. And they might be a little nervous and they might just have some bugs to work out. Hopefully that's the case, because I don't want her to look like a low res PS3 game. We are in a different generation and I think we deserve better, right? So with that said, not too much, you know, drama with that. I don't think they wokeified her or anything like that. No, I think it's bull. Okay, let's keep it 100 here. Now, Maria is really the interesting one, because everybody says, oh, you know, they desexualized her. There's a storyline reason why she's supposed to be a sexualized character. And yes, you are indeed correct. She is supposed to be sexualized. But how do we know she's not going to still be that way? Just because you saw her with that outfit on? Now, here's the thing. You guys got to keep something in mind, all right? I strongly, in my heart of heart, believe that the reason that they gave her that outfit is so that they can sell you her original outfit later on as DLC. Mark my words, I know I am a great prognosticator, and I know that's gonna happen. Okay, they're gonna sell it in the DLC pack, or there might be a point in the game where she takes that jacket off and she has that original blouse, like the one that Christina Aguilera wore, because that's who they sort of modeled her after, or at least the suit was. And I guarantee you it's going to happen at some point during the game, because remember, she is supposed to be a sexually provocative figure, and I still think she's going to be that way. I don't think they're going to censor her too much. I really don't. I think this is just a ploy for them to make more money, because they know that they'll get it out of you, because they know that when you buy the game and you start buying DLC and you start buying all these extra packets that they're going to sell you, one of them is going to be original outfits. It's going to happen. Watch. So just wait for it. Don't, you know, shove your forks on front of their faces too quickly, audience, because we know damn well there is an opportunity that that will indeed not come to pass. So with that said, the next thing I want to talk about, Eddie. Eddie has not been seen at all, and there's a very simple reason for that. I don't think they took Eddie out. I don't think because he's fat and overweight, they sort of use that as an excuse to get him out of the game so that nobody gets offended. Look, people are going to get offended no matter what you do, okay? I think they just didn't show him for a very simple reason, because they don't want to show all their cards. They want to have surprises. They want to give you something to look forward to, because they did show us quite a bit of gameplay. And I'm going to get into the gameplay in a second, and this is going to turn into a rant. But with Eddie, plain and simple, they just haven't shown him yet. I'm pretty sure he's still in the game. Okay. Laura looks fine. You know, she looks like a kid. You know, she pretty much, I just cut my hair and it's a little itchy in the back. Oh, whatever. So she pretty much is going to be the same character, in my opinion. I don't think much is going to be different. Now, moving on to the graphics. I think overall the game looks really good. The fog looks good. Hopefully they expand the town of Silent Hill and they allow you to explore more, where you know, you can have like maybe little side missions that you can do, things of that nature. I think that'd be really dope. And if they didn't do that, that would be a missed opportunity. Now, for the people complaining about the combat, this is the thing that really grinds my gears. This really butters my biscuit, man. And the reason I say that is because, look, let's be realistic here. The original game was boring to play. I don't want to hear about this, oh, but James is supposed to be an everyday man. He's not a battle-hardened police officer or soldier that can handle these rough situations. Listen, okay, I don't know if any of you realize this, but the characters of Silent Hill have, and I'm gonna die on this hill, okay? The characters of Silent Hill have and always will be more powerful than the Resident Evil protagonists, okay? And the reason I'm going to tell you that is because you got to be mindful of a couple of things. If we're going to talk about the original games, at the very least, the original RE games, right? In Silent Hill, you can move and shoot. That's not something you were ever able to do in the OG Resident Evil games. You had to stand in place like a tank and rotate your character to the desired target, and then you would shoot them and they'd go down, right? Not only that, but you don't have limited space in your inventory. You can pretty much hold as much as you want. You can hold 300 bullets in your inventory without any real issue if you wanted to. Okay, so all the characters of Silent Hill also got deep pockets. And let's not forget about their actual combat abilities. All right, Resident Evil gave you a knife as an option for melee back in the day, which was pretty useless. You only really used it as a last resort. You never wanted it to get to that point, because even a standard zombie was pretty difficult and imposing to take down with said knife. But Silent Hill gives you a plethora of different weapons that are also large. You got like 2x4s, you got pipes, you know, you got hammers that are very big and that stun the enemies when they hit them. So even on the melee end, Resident Evil still, I mean, not Resident Evil, Silent Hill still has Resident Evil beat. Okay, and let's not forget about the most important finishing move of them all. Everybody thought it was a big deal when Leon was suplexing and, you know, super kicking zombies and whatnot, but did you forget about the almighty kick, the powerful kick that once a downed enemy is on the floor in Silent Hill, you can just kick them and your radio goes suddenly dead because the enemy indeed is dead. They can't get up. You have a finishing move that doesn't require any kind of ammunition or melee weapon. Okay, you're gonna really sit here and tell me that these people are every men or every women? No, they're not. The Silent Hill protagonists have always been tougher, technically, than the Resident Evil characters, okay? And I want the combat to sort of reflect that. Don't get me wrong, I don't want him doing like Resident Evil 4 Leon style attacks, but at the very least, man, shit, it's okay if you can dodge to the side a little bit. I don't think that's a big deal. What in real life, your every man can't dodge. You can't get out of the way of an attack. You know, the enemy can't grab your weapon when you try to hit them with it. That can happen in the real world. Why can't it happen in a video game? I want it to be more exciting. I don't want to play this boring stationary game where I'm basically running away from everybody and I just have atmosphere to look at. Because if that were the case, then I would just watch a Let's Play and I wouldn't play the game at all. Okay? One of the reasons that Resident Evil is superior and popular and is arguably the juggernaut of all survival horror is because of their action. Because let's face it, Resident Evil was never really good at storytelling. They never were. Maybe the, you know, later on games, they got a little better at it, but let's keep it 100. The original games, you didn't play for the story. You played it because of its gameplay and because it was engaging to interact with. That's what I want Silent Hill 2 Remake to be. I want to actually engage with the character. I want them to be able to have a better combat system. Why not? Why are we gonna stay with this old school fixed camera angle, which, by the way, listen, Silent Hill, the original, was not really a fixed camera angle, okay? Because you have the ability to hold, I don't know if it's L1 or L2, and you can rotate the camera. And the majority of people, including the speedrunners that have always played this game, they always have it in third person with the camera. So you've always been able to rotate the camera in Silent Hill. So it's silly to believe that anyone plays Silent Hill completely with the fixed camera angles and never rotates it. That's a lie from the pit of hell, and you all know that, okay? It's very simple. And I know I don't want to sound all high and mighty and like, you know, I know everything, because clearly I don't. I'm just a dude on the internet with an opinion just like everyone else. But I think these are things that are fair to note because it's true. You know, I feel that a lot of people, including Silent Hill fans, are often blind to the fact that they have goggles, they have nostalgia goggles for this, and they don't really see the game for what it really was. Okay, it was boring to play. It was basically a door simulator for the most time. It had a great story, but the gameplay didn't really match that story. You were able to change the camera angles. These people weren't everymen. They were able to fight. They were able to have as much ammo as they wanted, and they were able to move and shoot, which was one of the most important things. That's something that Resident Evil didn't get till way later. You know, when was the first game? I think it was the co-op Resident Evil game that was on PS2. I keep forgetting the name of that one. Outbreak, yeah. Outbreak was the first one to really implement that, but it didn't get implemented officially in the canon games. Well, that is canon, but you know, the main title games until I believe Resident Evil 6, which nobody enjoyed, right? And that's a story for another day, by the way. But yeah, I'm gonna give you all a hard pill to swallow when it comes to the Silent Hill 2 Remake, okay? As much as you complain about it, as much as you make these video essays dictating how they've betrayed the fan base, you're all gonna play it, okay? Day one, you're all gonna buy it, or if you're a popular streamer that plans on speedrunning it, you're gonna have a key to download the game on your own, so you don't even have to pay for it. But even you people, you're all going to buy it, you're gonna speedrun it, you're gonna figure out how to avoid certain attacks, what frames are taken, you know, what is a punishment, you know, how you can any percent this game, how you can run it on pacifist mode, how you can beat the game, kill everything mode. You know, there's different categories for speedruns. I know I used to be a Resident Evil speedrunner, and realistically, you're all gonna play it, okay? No matter how much you claim that you're gonna hate it or you're not gonna buy it because, you know, you're gonna talk with your wallets. That's not really true. You're gonna play it, and you're gonna play it for the simple fact that it's nostalgia. Even if the game doesn't turn out the way you want it to be, you at the very least want to see how it's going to play out so that you can have something to complain about if in fact you do not like it. But it's disingenuous for a lot of people to sit here and say that because one character looks a little uglier than they should, or that, you know, you can actually fight, that this is somehow a scarlet letter on the game. It's a stain that can never be removed, you know. It's ridiculous to even think that. So those are basically my thoughts. I don't want to ramble on too long about this. You know, I just really wanted to get this video out there. There's not going to be any fancy editing. I'm not going to have a bunch of B-roll footage of the game in the background. I'm not going to have a crazy clickbait thumbnail with Angela's face stretched out, you know, like, which are kind of funny. I actually do think those are hilarious. No, these are just thoughts. And you know what? Let me know what you think of them, by the way. If you think I'm full of crap, feel free to let me know. If you want to dislike the video, you can dislike it. That's considered an engagement, so you're still participating and helping me with the channel. Speaking of which, if you have in fact enjoyed the content that I produce right now. If you enjoyed this ramble, this slightly coherent ramble about Silent Hill 2 Remake, feel free to let me know. Feel free to like, comment, share, subscribe, do the damn thing, help a brother out. I plan on making more videos like these to supplement the podcast that I normally do. And I think that me being a gamer and somebody that has played these games and grew up with the original, I wanted to throw my hat in the pile with the rest of you. And I feel that I did. So with that said, you are all awesome, and don't ever, ever let anyone tell you different. Signing off.